Now, of course, the big story around Chelsea is what happened in the celebrations after Argentina won Copa America, where Enzo Fernandez was seen singing a song which had racist claims, particularly against French players of African heritage. And he said, "I want to sincerely apologise for a video posted on my Instagram channel during the national team celebrations. The song contains highly offensive language and there is absolutely no excuse for these words. I stand against discrimination in all forms and apologies for getting caught up in the euphoria of our Copa America celebration." That video, that moment, those words do not reflect my belief or character. He made that statement publicly. There's also suggestions that privately he's reached out as well to Chelsea players, a number of whom have unfollowed him on Instagram, Shaq. I'm not expecting you to speak for the black players of Chelsea. Everyone, of course, has got a personal opinion about how they would address this. I suppose the only question I could ask you is, how would you address this?
I think it's good that Enzo Fernandez reached out to the players privately to express his apologies and for what was done and what was said. That's a significant step. Had he not done so, I think certainly I, being in that dressing room, would have taken far greater offence to it, particularly when we saw each other face to face and in person. Now, just on the whole, there's just so much about this that I find both brainless and confusing in equal measure. Now, why? I'll start with Lionel Scaloni, the day before the Copa final, in doing an interview, as I was reading The Athletic earlier, doing an interview, speaking about, he was talking about the game, and he says winning magnifies everything. And then 48 hours later, we have this incident. And of course it's magnified because it's now the world champions, twice South American champions, who are singing a song with these racist connotations that the fans were first heard singing before the World Cup final in 2022. Why you think it's okay to echo a fan song on your personal social media channels is simply beyond me and largely inexcusable, I'll say. Why are you singing about black players of the French national team after winning the Copa America, in which France are not a part of? Again, it's just so confusing. It's so confusing to me. You make this statement, and then what then doesn't help is the Argentinian sports minister says they should. Let me pause here and also point out that there were reports that at the end of the game, Lionel Messi goes to the rest of the team and says, "We celebrate, we sing, but we do not mention Colombia. We are not antagonizing anyone."
Right.
And I have sat here years gone by and questioned Lionel Messi's leadership. And I thought nothing more could be asked of him. That is exactly the kind of leadership every single team wants, particularly from their standout players, particularly from a player who's left his mark on history, such as Lionel Messi. I say that to then add that Lionel Messi is not on the team bus. Nor is Alex McAllister and a couple others. But Lionel Messi is not on the team bus, and this song breaks out, and Enzo Fernandez thinks it's a good idea. The sports minister comes out and says, you should apologize, for which he is fired. I will point out that Argentina have a right-wing government. And their statement, again, could be interpreted as, we are world champions, twice South American champions, we don't apologize to anybody for anything. Contrast that with Brazil making Vinicius Jr.'s treatment in Spain an international incident, and how Spain and La Liga responded. And everybody's in applause for that. Brazil have a fairly left-wing government. But it just sort of contrasts, or shows the power of football and contrasts the thinking, which I think is absolutely awful. And again, from an Enzo Fernandez perspective, and it's good that he's reached out to those players privately, there are 7 black French players on Chelsea's books. Why you do this, knowing that you have to go back to Stamford Bridge, is simply beyond me. But again, I think the fact that he reaches out privately is a good step. Let's see where it goes from here. Let's hope that there's a broader lesson that's learned by all of football through this.